Okay, everybody, so this is Helena. And Helena and I just became friends recently, too. I saw her house. It's a real artist's house. I loved it. So Helena is a self-taught painter, graphic designer, and educator, working primarily in acrylics and watercolors. She was currently exploring more abstract and semi-abstract compositions, but continues to create representational work, and I've seen those too. They're really beautiful, especially portraits and geometric pieces. Her art is driven by play, curiosity, emotion, and a deep love of color, as you can see. Helena's paintings have been exhibited at the Palo Alto Art Center, the Triton Museum of Art, the Pacific Art League, the Mexican Heritage Plaza, that's Works San Jose?
Yeah, well it was through Works, but it's a different venue.
Okay, and Works San Jose. For this demo workshop, she will show us the possibilities of working with geometry as a form of art. Using simple tools as the ruler and compass, she will follow the construction of a perfect 12-pointed star using a grid of overlapping circles known as the flower of life. And you can find more information about her website at www.helena.
I have cards. The last name is Ljoljic. It's Croatian.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
And her Instagram on your card also?
Also.
Okay, and also
Feel free
it's
to
in the
take a
newsletter
postcard.
too. So take it away, Helena.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really, really excited. This feels like full circle, coming full circle. The Sunnyvale Art Club was the first place that I found when I decided I want to do art a little bit more seriously than I've been doing for the past years. I looked for organizations and I found the Sunnyvale Art Club, and I joined, I believe, in 2022. Some of the paintings that Chris was mentioning, the small jigsaw paintings, I was a part of that for 2 years. And eventually I had to leave. Life became hard and Thursday stopped working for me. So I'm doing other things, but I'm very happy to be here. I have the honor of calling many of you friends. So it really feels very special to be here tonight. I would like to thank Gita and Teresa for the invitation, and all of you really for being here. I believe that when we take the time to drive somewhere at night and be present and listening, it's a very big deal. So I feel very honored and really thankful that you're here with me. I'm gonna go over I'm gonna go over a little bit of my story so far, and I promise I will make it very quick so that we can get to work. And I would like for you to get out of here tonight with something on your hands that feels like you can perhaps redo at home, and you have other ideas of how to apply geometry to your art as well. All right? So as Teresa mentioned, I'm currently exploring a lot more abstract work. So this is one of my most recent works. It's called The Promise of Spring. It was selected for the 2025 Triton Salon. So that was a big highlight of my year. I know that many of my art friends have been there multiple years. It was my first, and it was lovely. I encourage all of you to submit to the salon. This is for local artists. I did not get in the first year, so you have to keep trying. If there's one thing that I learned in trying to be a professional artist, is that we're gonna get so many rejections. We gotta get used to it, thick skin. I believe in my work. Keep working. Next year there's another one. So highly recommend that you submit your work to the Triton Salon. It's coming up, I believe, probably within 2 or 3 months. They are going to put the call out, so I hope to see some of you there. This is more of my recent work, also work that I have shown in different places, and that's basically what I'm doing mostly lately. I also do representational work, so these are the two that I have in a show, What Keeps You Up at Night. It's a representation of something that's from my culture. I'm originally from Brazil, and this is a fruit that maybe you've heard of or not. It's very energetic, a lot of caffeine in it, and it looks like red eyeballs. You probably can't see well, but if you go into my website, you will see it. It just, it's representational, but I would not call it realism. None of my work, I would think I would go for realism. Clarity was a painting that I showed at the Sunnyvale, one of the shows that we had at the library. And I also love doing portraitures, so this is one of my favorite teachers. His name is Ram Das. It's one of my favorite paintings. It's the one that you make for yourself, and I'm really into making things that are just for me. And another portrait that I showed at Work San Jose. That's it. This is kind of starting from the most recent, and now I'm going all the way back to the beginning. And the beginning for me was like this. My mother was a professional artist, painted very well in oils, and my little brother was also a professional artist, but he was born drawing, and I was the older sister, and I could not believe that someone could come out of the womb and do something like that, and that was him. So I felt like, well, I don't know if I can do art at all. So I tried different things, and one of those things was graphic design. I did go to school for graphic design. I thought, well, I like to work with something that has color and shape and composition, but I'm not a good representational artist, so I'm gonna do this instead, right? That actually filled my well up to a certain point. And then I started to notice that I was into creating more organic things. And that pretty much just showed up in my notebooks. I would doodle everywhere. I don't know if you're a serial doodler as well, you're on the phone and your hands are doing something. All my notebooks have notes. These are straight from notebooks. And I just so happened to start a new chapter in life where I went to yoga training. And so because of the subject matter and the type of people surrounding me, everybody loved to see my notebooks, and that progressed into, will you draw on the wall of my school, of my academy? Will you do live painting for me? And I did. I said, sure, let's do that. And so that's what you see, progresses from notebooks to walls. And more walls. This is my daughter when she was little. And then I realized that I could incorporate some of the things that I was learning, such as mantras, into these big works with watercolor. So I started playing around with watercolor and introducing the mantras there. And I realized something. I drew a lot of circular shapes. Those come up very naturally for me. Slowly people start telling me, well, this is called a mandala, and it's actually, everywhere. And it's true, everywhere. Everywhere you look, you're gonna find a mandala. Mandala is nothing more than a circle. Some translate as magical circle, but everything that's circular is a mandala. That clock behind us, your cup, your plate, and if we go outside, we're gonna find multiple examples. Donna, your earrings, right? So, that translated into me getting more work specifically with this, in this area of yoga and wellness. But then life changed again, and I started to date someone and fell in love and decided to start a new family. With that came a baby and a big move, and everything got turned upside down, and I think I did not produce any type of work for a good year. And slowly but surely things started to come up again, and it was in the shape of mandalas. This was my first attempt at doing anything. I didn't have any art supplies. This was with my daughter's Crayola watercolors, and you can see that I didn't know very well what I was doing. You can see the quality of the watercolor, right? And markers. But it was the beginning of something. And the beginning of that was that I went from paper to wood, and I started to paint again. And I have this to show you. The very first painting that I made when I moved here was this one that you can see there. And this mandala is a representation of my baby's eyes. My boy had eyes like this. The very center was very green, and then it would have a little bit of hazel and very blue on the outside. I mean, if you're a mother, that's what you're looking at most of your time, right? You're staring into your baby's eyes. So this was my way of representing his eyes. As you can see, it's very organic. I think that I would pretty much just draw a simple grid using a tool like this. Forget what the name of this is. Do you guys remember? Protractor, right?
Circle template.
Right. So it will just basically give me the division of a circle, and I just plot it using. Let me see if I have here. Yes, chalk pen. So I would paint the base, whatever color I wanted, and then with chalk pencil, I would draw the designs and the grid and then go and paint over it. I also used a lot of Posca pens, I still do, but when I was doing this work, it was mainly just acrylic paint and Posca paints. This is it's a very nice medium. I bought this on Amazon. It's very light wood, so it's easy to work with, easy to put on your wall. I highly recommend if you're looking for something just mainly fun to do.
What are those called?
Just wood panels, very,
Like
yeah.
MDF, maybe?
Yes, MDF, very, very light, yeah. And then this was the second one following the same idea, very organic, a very basic grid, and let's put elements around it. That was basically it. This was around 2018. My son was born around 2018, 2019, and 2020 came, and we all know what happened then, right? Pandemic hit, and I didn't know then, but my style changed out of the blue. Wasn't out of the blue, right? We were all changing, and I think as artists, we make art to cope with whatever's going on around us. At least that's the case for me. So what I noticed was that I went from something like this to this. So it's got a lot simplified, of course. I was just playing around with color, but there was a certain, it's not as organic as this is. So I was looking for order. I only realized that later, but you know, in the chaos that we were, I was looking for order. So this was my move. This was the second one that came, so I started introducing other elements, still working with the grid. This was just drawn with a protractor. So nothing related to what I'm gonna teach you today, just a progress into it, all right? So,
Acrylic?
I'm sorry?
Are those acrylic?
Acrylic and Posca pens. I still use Posca pens. I think Poscas are very good if you want to add sharp details. I'm going to show you how I use sometimes gel pens. And you can fix little mistakes, straighten things out by using Posca pens and gel pens as well.
Can you show the Posca?
I don't have any with me. I'm sorry, that was the one thing people say it before I do. But I can write the name for you. It's a very common brand name for acrylic markers, and my favorite. I know there are other brands. If any of you prefer something different, please tell us. It's always good to know your experience.
Do you get them at Michael's?
Amazon.
Oh.
Amazon, but University Art has a very good selection. You
Yeah.
can get them at Michael's.
I've seen them sold out a lot at Michael's too.
Just, I think, special colors. Sometimes they
Everyone's
have.
using them these days.
Sometimes they have sets with special colors, and then they sell out. But you know, University Art, I think, would be my choice, because then you can also try different brands. It might work differently for you. But basically, it's the type of pen that you shake. It's ink inside, it's acrylic ink paint. And so you shake it, and then it starts flowing. And you can create, but you see these little dots, all of this was made by Posca pens. And I still use it on paper as well. So some of my work that I have to show you here was made with the Posca pens on paper. Yes.
A couple of questions. So the surface that you have, is it strong enough? Like it's a very thin, like a ply or whatever. That is one. The other, I'm assuming you prime it just like you would prime any other
Yes.
surface. And third, I said two, but third. So you are using basically both acrylic, the standard paints, and for fine tuning you're using the markers.
That's right, which is also acrylic, and I also varnish it.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
I do. This is, for example, this has a little bit of a sheen, so you can see that I applied on top of it, and then I went for matte. I prefer matte, but yes, I do. Now, these I never made for sale, so I don't have that worry about, this longevity of the piece. So I didn't put too much thought into it. So your first question was, though, is it strong enough?
Yeah, because this is a very thin. I've seen this kind of surface on Amazon, and that was my only. I think they're like what, 2 millimeter or something like that.
Yeah, I would say maybe just
So
one.
I wasn't
If you
sure.
can look at it. Yes.
So you use a very fine, thin paintbrush to paint the majority and then just use the pens.
Yes.
Is
Thin.
mostly for outlining or? Sorry, go ahead, what you were saying.
No, I think that I honestly, at this point, I have every size of brush, and it will really depend on what it is that I'm aiming for. But yes, like 000 would be a size that I have used, especially for watercolor, right? Because I want precision, and if I love thick watercolor brushes because I really like the marks that the extra water makes on the paper. But if you're doing something that needs precision, then your water is just going to expand way more than you want. So yeah. Okay. All right. So going back here, started very organic, just a simple grid divided in the side angles. That was it. And then I started going through chaos like we all did, wanted to organize things, started to make things a little bit more precise, less organic. The other thing that happened during the pandemic, and I don't know if you had that experience, I think we all did, was that every class that I ever wanted to take was now available online from teachers all over the world. It was like, right, it was a blessing for those of us, all of us were stuck at home. Well, let me take that watercolor class that I've always wanted to take with a teacher that I've always wanted to take. So I did, I took the watercolor class, and I also took a class that I've been meaning to take for a long time with a teacher that used to teach Buddhist painting. So she did sacred paintings, and she also did a lot of mandalas. Here's a little bit of the process of that red mandala that you see. So you can see the chalk drawing, you can see a little bit of the division, right? So I divided in like pieces, like pie pieces, but also circles, right? Circles, one inside of the other, smaller circles and bigger circles. They will give you layers to your painting. So imagine that you have a center. From this center, your mandala expands. And every time it expands, it's like a little layer. So you can also have circles inside of circles to give you that idea of expansion, all right? Look at her doodling. That's exactly it. I think it's great. Anyhow, from that I took this class which was called Sacred Geometry. So here are the pieces that you see. This is a little bit, this one I used pencil. So you can see that I decided not to paint the background, and for some reason I just went in with pencil. And yes, those are one by one, so it's repetitive, it needs attention, you need to be present, and you do really work with meditation when you're doing this. It's an active meditation, right? Then I started to take a class that was titled Sacred Geometry. Has anybody here ever heard of Sacred Geometry? All right, cool, what do you know about it? Purva, go ahead.
Meditative.
It is meditative,
Yeah.
That's right. Donna, Melissa, what else do you guys?
It's repetitive shapes that are often found in nature.
Very good. Nature is the word that I was looking for. Nature. All right. Anybody else? All right, so sometimes when we say sacred geometry, people feel like, oh my gosh, this has to do with religion. Not necessarily, but yes, this type of art has been present in multiple cultures and religions for a long time. Perhaps one of the examples that I think is we can find most examples of really exquisite work is Islamic design. So this is the ceiling of a mosque, and the picture doesn't do it justice, especially projected like that, but it's stunning, stunning. And to think that this was made by hand, centuries ago, for me, there's value in following tradition. I really enjoy that. So for me, this is a little bit of why I'm so drawn to it, because people have been doing this for a while. So this is the example of the ceiling of the mosque. And then we have other cultures. So carving on Egyptian temple, the Sri Yantra, which is a Hindu meditative tool, the Vajrayogini mandala, Buddhist, and we have the Chartres Cathedral, which has that labyrinth. And we are lucky enough to live close to a replica in San Francisco at the Grace Cathedral. I don't know if you've ever been, but they have a replica of this labyrinth, and they have yoga classes around the labyrinth. So, the circular shape, the mandala, this type of geometry has been used by multiple cultures and religion. So besides that, and to what Melissa and Donna brought, we can also find sacred geometry just outside our homes, in our gardens.
Helena,
So, yes.
can I interrupt you for just a minute?
Of course.
How many actual minutes do you want to use for your demo? We'll be finishing this at 9:45, okay?
All right, yeah, let's go.
Just to pace you.
All right, so outside in our gardens, beautiful honeycombs, which are in hexagon shapes. And this, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. This is called the Rose of Venus. It's an astronomical pattern where Venus's orbit around the sun, as seen from Earth, traces this 5-pointed star over an 8-year period. So you can find videos of this on YouTube. They show you exactly this dance between planets and this beautiful design that's created after 8 years. So it's in your garden, it's in your cells, and it's up above. So for me, I'm sold. I love this, and I started to just create different things. So this is the progression of those mandalas that you see, and here I was already using what I learned from sacred geometry. So here you have stars that are based on a 4 family. So I'm going to show you what that means. It's already being projected. This is an exceptional one. This is a 7-pointed star. It's a little complicated. We don't use it that much, but it can be done. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed, but it is the shape of the police force has the star of it's the 7-pointed star as the base of their logo symbol. All right, but basically I learned that for the purposes of sacred geometry and what you can create with it, there are 3 main families: families of 4, families of 5, families of 6. All that means is that you're going to always start from a circle. We always start with a circle, and depending on how many circles you place around that original circle, you're going to divide it in a certain number of slices, and that's going to be the family. Mainly, we see examples of families of 4 and families of 6, and the reason for that is because those are easier to tile. So a lot of these designs are tiled. So think of tiles in your bathroom, right? Square shape, it's easy. We just put square next to square, and just like we saw with the honeycomb, the hexagons are also very easy to tile. So that's why this is the most common designs you will find in those families. All right, so with bringing watercolor and sacred geometry together, I started creating all these pieces. I have some to show you later. Acrylic allowed me to create bigger pieces. So you have two over there, and some also I created on larger wood panels. This is also, you can see that I have the outline in pencil. This is how I started with that one, the black one over there. This is a black canvas, and I actually did the whole drawing in chalk pencil on top of it. So it's a little tricky because your compass will poke a hole on your canvas, so I learned different tricks. There is no good trick. Eventually you're gonna poke a hole because there are many circles. So one option is to create everything on paper, then have tracing paper, trace, and then do it all over again on top of your preferred medium, all right? But it's possible. I did it, so you can do it too. Here are more examples. From that, I started creating what is called, what are these called? Oh, I forget. I'm gonna remember later. But basically, instead of shapes, you organize actual things around it. Like in this case, it was fruit. I did this for a show. It was about food, and I decided to use all the California and most grown fruits and created this. Bioformic is the name when you use different shapes. And then I started applying this to my portraits as well. So I created portraits with the background. These are watercolors. And so that is the progression. I also created more abstract pieces. So this is, I believe, a grid of 11 by 11 circles that intersect. And you can see that you can create stars, moons, and just something that doesn't necessarily, it's more symbolic than representational. And then the next part, if you are to follow this path, is that you start to crack the codes. So let's say I found this image that I absolutely love of this pattern from Alhambra in Spain, and I could not find the tutorial anywhere, because you can find this. This is not my knowledge. This is everywhere. You can easily find tutorials and do this yourself, but I could not find this one. So the first thing that you do to start cracking is you look at the number of the stars, the number of points that your star has. So in this case, it was pretty clear that I had 2 triangles forming a 6-pointed star, so it's a family of 6. Okay, and a family of 6 means that you're gonna start with this grid, which is called the flower of life. And from this grid, I add other grids. So I will add lines that go up and down, lines that go diagonally, and when I superimpose these grids, designs come out of it. It's our job to see those designs and then make them come to life, all right? So this is your 6th grid, and this is your 4th grid, okay? If we have time later, I can show you how from here I can create a simple pattern. And I'm sure that you're gonna be seeing this everywhere now, because this is very common for us to find.
Helena, is
Yes.
this the PDF that you gave me that we'll be sending out?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can see all this. The most interesting part of this PDF is that you can see a little bit how very complex designs come to life. So you can see the amount of lines that I drew just to get to that. Here is another example. It started off like that, then I isolated the shape in the center and made a stencil, not a stencil, what is it called, tracing paper. I traced it, and then I titled it, and I have this artwork to show you. This guy over here. So yeah, this was done, it's watercolor, gouache, on ton paper, other crazy designs that, let me see if I have these to show you. One of them, which is that one. So it becomes something different. All right, and you can make it as complex as you want. We all love to make life difficult. But I do find that there's beauty in the simple shapes. Something that starts off with just the seed of life, which is what we're gonna do together. I do want to show you how to create your own mandala, and we're gonna do something simple, but you can move on if this is a practice that you enjoy and find more ways to use geometry in your art. Yes?
Quick question. I was looking for shortcuts. Is it possible to create some like these kind of patterns digitally and then trace them?
I believe so. I'm sure. I think there are softwares that will probably replicate your one shape into many. I don't have any experience with that, even though I come from a graphic design background. I would say that this for me, it's a practice. So I enjoy doing it by hand. I enjoy doing it with a compass and a straight edge. But I would say 99% sure that yes, you can replicate this with the computer software or app. All right?
But don't.
Well, I mean, if that's your thing, I think that
Don't give a computer your creativity.
Absolutely. All right. So I want to start with you so that you get out of here with something. All right. It won't take long, but I do ask you to help me with being here present. And if you need any help, please let me know. I will come help you. So basically, what we're going to do together is create first a grid. So everything starts with the grid, okay? And the grid that we're going to create is the flower of life. All right, so get your pencils out, your compasses. The first thing that we need to do is to see if our tools are working properly. So once you get your compass out, I'm going to show you mine. What you need to do is try your best to have the needle and the lead, the tip of the needle and the lead around the same height, you know, so in line as much as possible. If you like, depending on what you got there, you can sharpen the lead. Have you ever sharpened the lead of a compass? Anybody? We're gonna do this together as an exercise. We don't have fancy paper, this is just printer paper, but I know that if you enjoy this, then you can get a good compass. It should not cost more than $5. You don't have to get anything fancy. I actually got some fancy ones that are very heavy, so they don't work for me. So I use Mr. Pen, which is a very common brand on Amazon. I don't like everything they do, but I've done well with their compasses. So if you enjoy it, you can do that. Watercolor paper, craft paper, Bristol paper, pretty much I've tried every surface, I think. Wood, canvas. Canvas boards are really cool because those have a board behind, so you have a rigid surface to work with. You can use your compass, and it's much, much easier, which is the case of this one. So this is one of those thin boards. I believe I bought this at Michael's, so you know how thin it is. It's just, you can buy multiple sizes, and I think that if you want to do acrylics or oil and you want to do on canvas, then this might be the best option, easier at least, than to try to work with regular canvas. All right, so everybody has their compass and is ready. The first thing that we're gonna do, get your ruler out and find the center of your paper. Mark it with a little dot. That's what we call bindu. It's the very center of your mandala. So I'm working with printer paper as well.
We just do one dot, or we making a straight line?
You can make a straight line, please. So find, it can be in any direction that you find best. I'm gonna use mine horizontally.
Does anyone need a ruler? I have two.
So mine is 8.5 inches. I'm gonna go for 4.25 on one side, 4.25 on the other. Yes? Don't worry. All right, here we go.
Does that work, or should we swivel the camera?
Oh, it's all right. I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
You sure?
Yes. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna find my center. 11, 5.5. So you are gonna have a horizontal line or a vertical line, doesn't matter, dividing your paper in half, and you have your center. All right, everybody see what I did? Okay, now we're gonna work with our compass, okay? So get your compass out, and we're going to look here for a 1-inch radius. Do you remember this? Radius, circumference, yeah? So if I'm looking, by the way, this is a great ruler if you want to start doing geometric work. It's architectural and crafts ruler. It works as a square, and I really, really like it. It's very helpful. So basically open your compass so that the radius is 1 inch. Just place the needle and the lead on your ruler, and let's make our first circle. Now, the compass should be very firm at the needle, and it should flow to create the circumference, okay? So shoulder work here. Your shoulder needs to be relaxed so that you can go flow with this circle, okay? If you need to, you can play around on the side of your paper just to get the hang of the compass. But here you go, I have my first circle.
Did you say how big it should be?
1 inch radius, so it's gonna be 2 inches as the circumference.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't say that. Yes, good to see you. Good to see you too. All right, who's done? All right, we're gonna keep going to our next circle. So go to your right, find the point that intersects the line and the first circle, and here is where we're going to draw our second circle. So this shape is called the Vesca Pisces, is when we have the two interlacting circles. Guess what we're gonna do next? Go to the other side. So now go to the left and find that point where the line meets your original circle and draw another circle. All right? This is the point where we have the possibility of creating the 4 grid or the 6 grid. So a lot of people in my previous workshops go and rush through it and create the 4. We're not creating a 4 family, you're creating a 6. So we're gonna find 4 more intersecting points. They are where the circles meet on top, 1, 2, and at the bottom. Okay, so every intersection is the beginning of a new circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw 4 more. Notice how my circle, we're not changing the position of the arms of our compass. It's exactly the same radius, okay? So then you should be, as you draw your circles, you should be touching all those intersection points, okay? Now, precision is very important, but we're not gonna worry too much about that because you don't have perfect compasses. So it might not be precise. It doesn't matter. We're gonna practice, and you're gonna see that even without precision, we can create something beautiful. All right, how's everybody doing? Does anybody need help? Did I hear yes?
It takes a while to get used to using this.
It is,
It gets
right?
slipping off.
Yeah, it's not easy. You have to have a very soft hand. It's a firm on the needle, but soft around. And Teresa, it's a shoulder thing, you know? Very much so, right? You got to do some stretching before you start working with it. Now, I could stop here. What we have here is called the seed of life. But I don't want to stop, I want to keep going. So we're going to draw more circles in order to create the flower of life, not just the seed, but the full flower. And in order to do that, I need you to find more intersecting points, and those are going to be at the tips of this big flower, the petal of the flower. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's draw 6 more circles in those points that you found. If you're done with the 6 circles, we're going to add 6 more. I don't know if you noticed, but when you drew 6 more circles, you got more intersections, more points, okay? So we want to add, we want to have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? So think about this. What I'm looking for is that we have full petals on this central design, okay? And I'm not quite there yet, so I'm going to continue. So total, we're going to have 12 circles going on the outer layer of our design. And you can see how it can get quite busy very quickly, because this is just the base grid. Think about the fact that on top of this, to create more intricate designs, I'm gonna add more and more lines. So it's important to mark those points so we don't get lost.
I'm addicted already.
It is addictive. It's wonderful. Imagine doing this at your home with your music, your tea. All right, I'm gonna go check what you are all doing, see if I can help. You guys make sure to put the little dots where I did, because I'm gonna ask you to number them, all right? Done. Just please put all the little dots around where I have mine, and we're gonna number them, and we're gonna number them just like a clock, okay? 12. I need 12 points. Are you ready to do this with me? Just like you have a clock, we're gonna start all the way to the top. That's gonna be your 12 o'clock, okay? Please write it down. You can use a little lighter pencil, but it's important for us to follow, to have those numbers. Made a mistake here. All right, got it? Our next step is going to be to trace the hexagon. Do you see it already? We're gonna connect these lines in a way to create a hexagon. Any idea of how we're gonna do that? Do you see it? I'm gonna use a marker just so that you can see it better. I'm gonna connect my number 12 to my number 2. You're connecting all either even or odd numbers. 2 to 4. 4 to 6. 6 to 8. 8 to 10. And 10 to 12. All right, everybody got the hexagon? Perfect. Now we're gonna make the start. Are you ready? Get your ruler out if you have any colored pencils or anything different. If you'd like to grab one of mine here. You don't have to, but if you like, anybody? Any color just to differentiate. All right. So basically, I want you to find one side of your hexagon, and I'm going to start with this side that goes from 12 to 2, okay? And I'm going to find the opposite side. So remember that usually in mandalas, and especially when we're talking about sacred geometry-based mandalas, there's a lot of symmetry going on. So I'm going from 12 to 2, that's my side, and the opposite side is from 6 to 8. You guys follow that? Yeah?
Are we coloring it?
Not coloring, we're tracing. I'm gonna trace a line that goes from the point 12 all the way to point 7. All right. And then we're moving from 7 to 2. And then we're gonna do the same thing from side 6, 8 back to side 12, 2. So I'm going from point 8 to point 1, point 1 to point 6. And I'm gonna repeat this for the next 2 opposing sides. All right? So now I'm moving to side 2 to side 4, opposing side 8 to 10. Draw a line from the point 2 to the point 9. Now we're going to draw another line from point 9 to point 4.
So what was the first one you did? 12 to 7?
12 to 7, 7 to 2, 8 to 1.
So we're doing 2 to 8 or we're doing 8 to 1? We're not connecting 2 and 8. Are we connecting 2 to 8?
2 to 8? No, we're not connecting 2 to 8. 12 to 7,
To 2.
7 to 2.
Okay.
Then 8 to 1, 1 to 6. Okay? I wrote it down if it's helpful.
Do you explain this on your website?
No, but I do have a PDF that I can send to you so that you can share with everybody if you want to repeat this.
We're running out of time. We
All
actually
right.
have to be out of this room at 9.
All right, I'm gonna continue and you can do this at home, but basically I'm just gonna do the same thing with the 2 last opposing sides. So I am connecting 10 to 5, 5 to 12, and then 6 to 11, and 11 to 4.
I mean, I like it still, but.
show you what the final artwork that I have here with that star is. So you see, this is watercolor, gel pen to make this pop. That's basically it. And then you can tile it, right? So if I were to use the same design and make a bigger grid, then I could have multiple ones and you create tiles. Now, Teresa is going to send you, and I'm going to share with her. This is something that I use in my class. So you're going to have pretty much the step-by-step, see?
Wow.
Illustrated.
Is that in your PDF?
It is in my
Oh,
PDF.
okay, great.
Okay?
Great.
And then I have a challenge for you that's in my PDF too. I would love to hear back. But I give you one of my finished designs and I give you the Flower of Life grid and I want you to try to find this here. And there are no extra lines. There is nothing that needs to be added. You just need to find it. I'd love to hear back from you. Send me an email and I will provide Teresa with this PDF so that you can try at home, try with a good compass, try with a bad compass. Have fun. All right? Thank you so much. I'm sorry it was rushed at the end, but it was a pleasure to be sharing this with you.
Thank you so much, Helena. This can be expanded and expanded
Absolutely.
and keep expanding.
Absolutely.
But like Helena mentioned, she gave me her PDF that we'll be sending out probably on the WhatsApp chat. And if you're a new member, you'll be added to the WhatsApp chat. And Mega takes care of that. Maybe she'll send it out on email as well. Right, Mega? Okay, because we have a PDF. Okay, thanks again, Helena. Did we clap for you?
Yeah, we all clap for all of us, right? Trying something new. Thank you.